Explain the context, though, for people who may not have read about that this morning.
So we all know the practice rant and everything.
Practice? We're talking about practice.
So people, it's iconic, everything. And people are like, they use that to make light or to kind of say, Allen Iverson was like not taking practice seriously. And in that press conference, he kind of explained, he said, and I'll read it here. He says, quote, "I'm upset for one reason, because I'm in here. I lost my best friend. I lost him this year. Everything is just going downhill for me as far as just that, as far as my life. And then I'm dealing with this. My best friend is dead, and we lost. And this is what I have to go through for the rest of the summer until the season is all over again. Till the season is all over again." And then he goes, "I'm going through all that, and we sitting up here talking about me missing practice. Practice. So he's talking about like real life stuff. Like his best friend just died this year. He's still grieving through that, going through that trauma. And he's like, man, y'all really up here asking me multiple questions about practice. So I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, it's funny, it's cool, but when you get the context, it's almost not as funny anymore, right?
Well, it was. I remember. I don't remember if I knew the context of it, like when it happened, but I remember at some point either it was being run or it was an anniversary. I remember thinking, why did he miss practice? And then I looked it up and I was like, wait, that's okay. Wait a minute. This isn't right. So I look like I'm trying to find I'm looking for a second source here. I'm like Adam Schefter with this, trying to figure out the this puzzle. I was like, this isn't funny. Like, why is this lost in the history of this press conference?
Right.
They make it out as if he was, ranting about answering questions about practice when he was actually explaining as to why he wasn't. So, it's a weird story, and it's weird how I think all that stuff gets tied together. I think all the, you just start to isolate stuff, and it's like, oh, it's a good soundbite. You play to win the game, or hello, or what's that one? Thank you. You just isolate it. Oh, it's fun. Like, maybe not. Yeah, maybe not so much.
Nah, and it's the cold part about that is, like everybody knew what he was talking about, right? The Sixers knew what he was talking about. Larry Brown knew what he was talking about, and it kind of just left him out there to dry, in my opinion. You know what I mean? They could have came back around a day or two later, or even at media day the next year, if that came up and like, he was going through a lot of stuff. It's missing, and nobody did that. Nobody did that. They just kind of left it out there. I'm not blaming their content people, but the media shows that played it right thereafter. Like they watched the whole video. They watched the whole press conference. This wasn't a separate press conference where he explained what he was doing. It was in that conference when he explained his frustrations, and everybody just kind of went with that part, let it ride, and didn't give any context.
As if it's some sort of like anti-practice movement.